Oh, sorry. Didn't know if I was a ninja or still wearing a COVID mask during this video. Anywho, welcome back to the dojo. I will be your instructor, Jason Songer Sr. And before this ass-kicking class is in session, it's time for another film location shout-out. Our shout-out today goes to YouTuber Jacob Barlow, who has provided us with a couple of locations that were actually filmed not in Los Angeles, surprisingly, but in Salt Lake City, Utah. Perfect for your viewing pleasure the next time you stop into the city where Carl the Mailman Malone delivered nightly for your Utah Jazz. Links to these, as well as other notable Revenge of the Ninja finds, will be provided in the description. You see, originally the film was scheduled to shoot in Los Angeles, but Canon couldn't get the necessary permits for police and fire protection, so who steps in to save the day? Originally the film was scheduled to shoot in Los Angeles, but Canon couldn't get the necessary permits for police and fire protection, so who steps in to save the day? The Utah Film Commission. It was certainly a teenage dream for them, and they were practically begging for Canon to come into their state and film that voodoo that they do so well. They were ever so gracious that were willing to throw in the carpet and roll out the barrel of fun to provide Canon with everything they needed to start production. Utah was like, "You want to do what? Okay. Decapitate a guy's head off? Okay. Have thuggish, ruggish mafia guys walk around with fake toy machine guns that are so real that they scare grandma shitless that they ought to be confiscated? Fuck it. Have fun. Here are the keys, and be sure your go-go boys lock up after dark. So suit up, get a good stretch in, look tough, look lethal, as it's 80s Ninja-Mania at its best, with cartoon violence, crazy martial arts, and weapons that will have you kicking back off your couch as you sip a nice cup of ice-cold Kung Fu cappuccino.
Canon Films, the home of high-powered, high-voltage motion picture entertainment. With the screen's biggest spectacles, brightest stars, and boldest lineup of explosive entertainment. We're taking motion picture excitement over the edge and your box office over the top. We're Canon Films, and we're dynamite.
Return back to the second film in the Canon's loosely linked ninja trilogy. What do you mean loosely linked? Sho Kosugi was decapitated in Enter the Ninja. Are you saying by some divine intervention that Sho's character has been reborn, much like Lamon Cranston in 1994's The Shadow? Alright, once again folks, it's time to bullshit this movie and doctoring up the plot. You ready? Let me guess, Evil Sho had a price of redemption to take up a man's struggle against evil. See, Simple Simon bullshit that works. Now he has returned and is now hailed as the film's new hero, as well as choreographer on many of the film's fight scenes. What we have is a movie that tops its predecessor, with a more heightened story and more action scenes. Mannheim Golan was originally assigned to be the director of the Enter the Ninja sequel, but other pressing matters related to other Canon projects he was overseeing forced him to step down. Mannheim's replacement would be none other than Sam Furstenberg, who was known to be Mannheim's protege. Sam's earlier work with Canon began in Lepke in 1973, where he served as production assistant. When Sam first received the script, he knew it came out of the Hong Kong action cinema scene that he was not too familiar with. Sam's only martial arts influence was through viewing Akira Kurosawa's Japanese films. It was his goal to pull away from the traditional classic martial arts scenes and move toward a more modern day kung fu movie for the Western audiences. This included car chases, one-on-one fight scenes, action scenes featuring swarms of people all at once, and more complicated action set pieces to give the audience a little bit of the James Bond action vibe. Not only was Sho Kosugi was brought on board to assist with the fight choreography, but also served almost as a creative consultant on the screenplay to implementing those mystical and mysterious elements of the ninjutsu into the script. Also given Sam Furstenberg's was a hungry, eager director with a passion to make feature films on a long-term scale. He was more than willing to commit to Canon's tight budgeting and tight film schedules that many of Canon's wily film directors were already subject. He made a promise he would bring extra bang for Canon's buck. Never took the subject matter more seriously than he needed to, and in the end presented a film that not only looks far more pristine and superior to the money that was spent on the film budget. What I can say is Sam Furstenberg pulled his cherry and would soon be anointed with the task in bringing his action cinema influences in another popular string of Canon Ninja films, the American Ninja series. Our film begins in Tokyo, Japan, but actually looks more like the botanical tea garden right outside the Japanese pavilion, outside of World Showcase. Seriously, Canon, not every Japanese lives in a Japanese tea house filled with koi pond, not unless you were looking to expand your Benihana franchise. I guess we learn something every day about Japanese, because I never knew all houses were fortified on paper walls. I'm guessing all those of high society living in Tokyo are living in endless series of stacked paper walls and buildings. Yeah, that's right. They had thicker paper, the construction paper type, living like a king on paper houses. No more problems with home invasions, because if someone breaks your paper wall, you get a new sheet. Nothing a little Elmer's glue won't fix. So they are all minding around their tea garden home, giggling, mingling, having a happy, joyous baby tender moment, until the whole Foot Clan platoon unit shows up. Either that or we are watching a different film about the origin story of the Punisher. So we go from this happy Japanese family having a warm family day of socializing, sushi with some tea and sake for the adults, just sharing the best of times, until they are met by the Suicide Squad, where they are literally vanquished in the first 5 minutes. It's full out blood to the max. All of these ninjas are so sadistically precise in how they are all going for the same fatal wound strike, from a child taking a shuriken to the face to a child getting a ninja star right between his eyes. Canon at this point is basically pointing your fingers at you, laughing, and pointing back at the screen telling you, this is the movie you wanted, right? Well, since there is really no rhyme or reason behind all of this, it's senselessly, sadistically cruel and delicious to most horror viewers, so play on, boys. Sho and Braden show up, and Sho is basically like, my family was born with having bad karma. Sooner or later, karma came to collect. After his family has been taken by ninjas for generations, it's time to radically pack up and leave. To where? The next little Japanese tea hut on the prairie? You know Rod Stewart once saying, some guys have all the luck, some guys get all the breaks, and then some guys like Sho can't even leave his family unsupervised for 5 minutes. Braden convinces Sho to come to America to help start up his art gallery business. After all, Japanese art is selling like hotcakes in America right now. I would think therapy and lots of alone time is the best medicine right now, especially if he just pulled a ninja star out of his child's head and his family is all laid about tainting the beautiful colors of the tea garden in cold blood. Then Grandma just immediately appears. She's got mad, out of sight, out of mind skills. Seriously, where was she during this whole melee of violence? I'm guessing her programs were on and had the TV on too loud. Then she presents Sho with a necklace that she claims is important to her family. Huh? Is it an amulet to ward off evil, or a symbol of their family seal that is to be protected that holds the key to secrets of ancient ninjutsu? The premise of the story or the importance of the necklace was never made clear. Brayden goes on the defense, saying what's the use of staying here, Sho, when they know where you live, and your only safety now is to sell the land while you can. Come escape with me and I'll give you money and you'll be rich beyond your wildest dreams.
I'm offering him a great fortune in America, a new life. We'll open a gallery and you and your son can be safe in America. You can be happy again.
What? Did Brayden come under the inheritance of some dead widow of the late Minister of Finance who recently died after hiding a vast fortune from rebels? Seriously, you two would have been better off smuggling jade. I mean, the whole premise of this movie is not making any sense. The creative minds at Canon couldn't figure it out, but they were like, not my problem, let's just fuck it and film it. What you will find by viewing the rest of this film is that they will never work it out. True, you will get some detailed explanation in the first half hour, but you'll soon be drowning in questions after that. Out of the slaughter, there happens to be a lone survivor as Grandma pulls the baby out of the weeds like he's Moses out of the 10 Commandments, the one destined to be the prodigal son. To the next Ninja Crack Commando unit who is about to go for his family, a word of advice. Go for the kin. Take away the ones that will carry on the family name. You'll have plenty of time to torture and maim the elder members of the family later. Maybe that's the cycle these ninjas operate from, for they always kill the firstborn. But the baby is like, I'm gonna take the ninjas off on his most generous offer. Let's jet. Grandma pulls Sho aside and tells him, Sho, I do not trust this man. He's a bad guy. No. The shifty eyes, those delicious blue and trancing, dangerous dragon blue eyes. He's clearly going to be the well-established snake in the grass. Pain in the ass, motherfucker Sho will have to deal with. We cut back to America, 6 years later, where the gang from Stranger Kids want to move in to mess with Sho's son Kane.
And what's a trick? Kick his ass. Yeah.
Could you move, please?
Give it back.
Now you boys might be hot shit detective sleuths on bikes on Netflix, but today, you so-called kung fu kids from Central Kids are about to make a major discovery on getting a foot shoved up your ass. It's like fast-forwarding to the movie Karate Kid, where the kid can already kick ass and chew bubblegum at the same motherfucking time.
Go for it. Get him! Get him! Come on! Get him! Hurry up! Get him! Go! Yeah!
What we have is quite a highly choreographed fight. I can tell he put a lot of work and practice every day in the backyard. Not to mention a father like Sho yelling in between takes to go back until it's done right. I mean, it's like Sho sent him through the 36 chambers of Shaolin because he's doing bicycle kicks like he's a young Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat.
Get him! Come on!
It's a fun, badass brawl for a little tyke such as Kang. What strikes me is a scene where the big kid literally bitch slaps young Kang in the face. It's not every day, but only in a canon film where you can see such scenes of kid violence against an 8-year-old. Disturbing, yes, but it's quite a novelty to see a very large boy against a small boy, but yet see that young boy fight through adversity to take them all down. I think that's the main selling point of the fight scene that has us having a warm smile of delight of a child overcoming big odds and coming up on top. Then Sho comes out of nowhere, tells the boy not to fight. Funny, but isn't that what your family does?
I told you not to fight.
Do not yell at him. He did no wrong.
I did not bring him here to America to fight in the streets.
We're only into the second scene, and clearly the model for this family is turning into attack or be attacked. Grandma then reminds Sho to teach him ways of the ninja.
Joe, it does not matter where you raise him. You must teach him the way of the ninjas.
You're kidding, right? I think he's got the secret art of assassination down cold. He doesn't need a school monitor. He is his own monitor, and right now he's monitoring his surrounding quite well.
Then canes. So prepare him. Show him the ways.
I have given up fighting. My sword is sealed forever. Here in America, I will not follow the way of the ninja.
Huh? Must be an inherited skill. We go into ninja training, and Sho has made himself more at home this time. That's right back to the good old paper walls and stucco. He says he is done being a ninja, but he's training his son.
No more.
Why not, Daddy?
Because the way killed your mother.
With all that space, he carries on this double standard that even though he will not teach him to be a ninja, but instead will teach him to carry on the family honor. To prove that he brings out a samurai sword that is locked, that symbolizes his vow to promise that he will not break. So, what the hell do we call this? I'm going to teach you a partial sum of not at all components of ninjutsu training, but leave out the good stuff, you cheapskate canon. Is that how you talk down passing of the torch? Then enters Karen, whom I'm guessing is the art gallery secretary, and I believe whom is Sho or Braden's girlfriends. Another disturbing thing, much more disturbing than the bitch slap to Kane, that it's not so much the violence, but all the sexuality this young boy is exposed to. I had no idea this canon action movie is turning out to be a coming of age story. She too is also there to do karate practice with Sho in a gi.
Karate training is more than enough. I just want you to teach me the way.
Well, if you want to work out, you forgot your pants.
Honey, did you misplace the other half of your gi in the laundry because you're only wearing the top? Yeah, she's wearing no pants because this woman is hanging out all over the place.
You really think I forgot? God, you're so strong.
More like thirsty for a cup of Sho. He will not have anything of it because he still wants to be honorable to his wife. Even though it was 6 years ago, true folks, our abstinent one like a select few whom feel that after their true love has passed away, that it's for them they are done finding another. He just brushes her off as a disgusting lady for the time being. Apparently, she scores no points or being too eager. Well, most people put on Peter Katera, but I'm guessing that's not how Sho gets in the mood. In the plus column, though we are already 20 minutes into this film and have already witnessed 5 whole fight scenes. True canon, you are up on the board, and this is definitely what we came for. Most action movies like this put the tease on you for that big climatic fight, but we're glad Canon decided to go with it. Flow of mindless fun. We finally enter the Japanese art gallery to get more background as to exactly find more about the business so they have.
Partner put together the best Japanese doll collection in town.
The shipment has just arrived from Japan. They are all beautiful and authentic. Everyone is handmade, and each takes almost 2 months to make.
Where's the payoff here? Don't your high-priced Japanese geisha doll collections pay off? They pay top bucks. No, apparently what's supposed to knock our socks off is a priceless collection of G.I. Joe-inspired ninja soldiers.
It's a ninja, professional soldier, specializing in espionage and assassination.
Come on, where are the high-priced artwork, sculptures? Not a display of 400-year-old Japanese G.I. Joe geisha dolls straight out of the basement of the Android's dungeon and baseball card shop.
Worst bastards the world's ever known, right?
It's a common misunderstanding that the ninja were all evil, but not accurate.
You got to love the name of the art gallery that is just about as unoriginal as the Geisha Snake Eyes Ninja Doll collection. Show Oriental Art. Lovely how descriptively dull and tasteful it is too. Yeah, they said this art gallery is going to be the biggest in town. Are you kidding in that neighborhood? It looks like a commercialized warehouse zoned area. More fit for a craft brewery than an art gallery. Then Curious Kane, much like Curious George, is about to get into some mischief by pulling a Houdini by pulling the tablecloth out from underneath the priceless dolls. He pulls the tablecloth out of one and it falls out to the ground. Either Kane needs more ninja training because his ninja reflexes suck because he didn't catch it in time.
Kane, don't touch it. What have you done?
If his dad would have taught the fish koi out of the pond like Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport, he could have made millions right there. As it falls down to the ground, it's snowing as cocaine pours out of it. Then, like a plot ripped straight out of Bruce Lee's first film, The Big Boss, we find out exactly what the big deal out of all this is all about. Turns out Mr. Show, Me the Way to Live on the Straight and Narrow, is running a drug smuggling ring by using a legit Japanese art dealer as a false front. Much like Bruce Lee's first film, The Big Boss, instead of using ice, they are importing drugs and filling it with heroin, which in turn they sell the art far more than what it's worth.
This is a very expensive doll you broke. Your father will be so angry.
I'm sorry.
Who are you selling that to? Hunter Biden? We could assume the heroin was shipped in Japan and then shipped to America. Why would you put heroin in the art and resell it to the general public instead of for smuggling purposes? Not only are you price gouging pieces of art that are really pieces of shit, but you're really selling heroin on down the road. That's when everyone reaches for heroin AM. When we want to get stuff done. That's right, the only non-drowsy heroin on the black market so we can call, get jacked, and skank, and then get to work. If that's not worse, the crime boss in the area, Cafano, who looks like a mix of what Joe Pesci would look like if he would reprise Edward G. Robinson in A Little Caesar.
Hey, Pat. So, what's the good word?
He's such a diet Joe Pesci that he almost had me calling him Jack Pesci. He just wants to buy and sell the drugs without the doll.
Okay, so what's the big rush?
Seriously, what is this machine gun toting badass gangster doing with the doll?
How about, Bavangu?
It seriously doesn't mess with the feng shui in his digs at all.
Fine. So don't try any funny stuff.
We would have been in Kung Fu heaven if we would have just stuck with the ninjas following Show's family to America to intercept his art deal and fuck up his life. So why does Braden bring in Show for something as illicit as this when he didn't even need Show at all? It would make more sense to have Show open up a karate studio to enrich future students' minds with the ways of self-honor, discipline, and respect for themselves and others, and not opening an art studio. Kathy then alerts Braden that Kane saw the doll full of heroin. He tells Kathy that you have one job to do, and that is to watch it.
It's okay. He didn't even know what it was. I'll make sure he doesn't tell anybody.
You'd better.
It won't happen again, I promise.
This gallery setup is becoming too risky.
Huh. She would rather watch someone put the moves on her. If that isn't enough to put a dent in Braden's drug operation, he knows he has to smooth things over with his buyer, the local street boss, Cafano. He then meets Cafano, who apparently owns a giant, I have no idea, it's a cross between too much office space and a giant Radisson hotel. As far as his goon situation goes, it's rather kind of morbid. You see, in Enter the Ninja, Venarius had an eclectic mix of goons as well as synchronized sluts swimming about so elegantly to his beat. Here, Cafano has men who massages him and smoke cigars. It's a little weird and quite off because it's most gangster movies he would have women doing the massaging and his goons doing the guarding looking all GQ fly in their gangster wardrobe. But hey, no judgment to a gay mafia. Is that what he's into?
I'll fuck with whoever I want.
Yet they make fun of the guy who's always trying to impress himself onto women. Thank you for this nice insight, Kenan, and we can learn all something in gender equality, and that is according to the gay mafia family, all you need is a good man in your life. They don't love you like Cafano does. The mafia goon is really excited about this. So excited that he's actually chewing on a cigar. I bet he can't wait does Cafano's front. Yeah, the Salt Lake City mafia is weird. Definitely not what I expected at all. It's like these guys got pushed out of every major New York crime family and had to resort to a city and crime underworld that was LGBTQT friendly. As for their young soldier Gino, let's just say he hasn't learned the ways of the sword yet. Braden then arrives to complete the delivery. He wants to assure Cafano that all dolls are ready for pickup, but wants the money up front, right now. Oh God, Kenan. The way Braden does pickups is like how some request medication up front at their pharmacy because they are out. Braden issues a warning that the Japanese will not like this, and no one messes with the Japanese. What Japanese? You're only a murder for hire type of guy and you spent your last savings on a hit job on Sho's family. He's only referencing no one but himself. So just because you have a fetish into Japanese culture from eating fish and rice every day and studying Japanese culture for the last 20 years doesn't make you a Cobra commander for a grand army. Are you like Rachel Dole, the martial artist who identifies himself as being Japanese? We cut to Braden in his office and ooh, isn't this sweet? He's taking his ninja case out for a picnic. We cut to a Sunday afternoon at the park, featuring Kenan's favorite lovable, laughable, disposable, loudmouth character.
The pickle.
Told you to eat before you drink the soda.
Mario, you eat my
What is this? What did you bring? Nobody's gonna eat that shit.
If you love him here, you'll get plenty more of Joey the Masseuse in our future reviews of Ninja 3, The Domination, and American Ninja. Joey knows Kenan has given his one moment of time to talk, and he really chews up most of the scene as well as most of their craft services too. He's putting on his Andrew Dice Clay comedy shtick.
What is this? What did you bring? Nobody's gonna eat that shit. I don't need another beer. Fucking beer's going right through me. I'm gonna take a leak. Oh, shit.
He goes to the bathroom, and secret Ninja Man appears out of the bathroom stall with this chrome skull mask. My oh my, he is a bathroom assassin.
What the fuck is this, Halloween? Get out of here.
Seriously, don't you get sick of taking this crap? Personally, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. It looks like Mafia associates never die, they just waste away as his neck is snapped. I don't always use public park bathrooms in the middle of the day, but when I do, I'm convinced that there are serial killers around every corner and in every possible hiding spot. Cafano and his crew show up at the downtown public plaza to meet up with some homeless guy.
Bad news, Mr. C. I don't think you'll get your money today. You know, on the street, the word is that there's a ton of H on the way from Japan.
Quit covering up for this man, Kenan. Like he is of someone of importance. Why lie anymore? Give this old thirsty pirate a beer.
I'll be in touch.
Sure.
When Cafano and his men walk back to the limo, the hobo gets a ninja star in his face. Kudos to our Kenan viewing public, as they are only viewing public I have seen in a film that is constantly aware of what's going on in this movie.
Oh, good Jesus Christ.
They are really following along to the beat like a normal, well-informed public show. Cafano finds his informant Jimmy all decked out in death, with the Christmas ornament sticking out of his eye. Dude, you could have been a lot safer at home. Now you have the rest of your movie to think about it. That's okay. We wanted to test to see if your life insurance was still up to date. We go to some hotel hot tub rompus room with our boy Gino, and he just doesn't get it yet. She's digging what he's doing. He's got those hot tub skills going. After all, Gino likes his women like he likes his liquor, gone by morning. For young Henry Hill, he sure likes staying in a cheap Hampton Inns featuring tacky small furniture and nothing much else, but yet the hot tub dominates the whole room like it's a centerpiece for the sex enthusiast type. 80s and hot tub machines. Well, some days you gotta make your own happiness where you lie. And what can I say? Then we had waterbeds, then we had mold, and thank fucking God we got much smarter and more health conscious after that. What do you know? Gino gets necked by a fatal blow dart hickey as he falls over his girlfriend due to his dead weight. Well, he was dead weight, but now he's out of a job. I guess some of them will stop at nothing to get some jealous ex out of the picture. Later the police arrive, and they notify Cafano that apparently Gino, his nephew, has died, as the two of them were basically tied up by the hip.
Girlfriend, you want to take a look?
What the hell for?
He's all distraught because tonight the books were opening up, and Gino was getting made, and they were going to treat him to a deep tissue massage as part of the after party.
Corner said it's gonna take a jackhammer to get him apart.
Was a good-looking kid.
Yeah, Joey was gonna bring the table, the massage oils, the candles, the works. The Salt Lake City gay mafia, majoring in massage and minoring in forgetting to take out the laundry. A cop comes to question Cafano, and I don't know if he walked off the set of LA Law or in the heat of the night, because he goes all gangbusters on Cafano, asking him what he knows.
You talk to me, you son of a bitch. Now somebody's muscling you and I want to know who the fuck it is.
That's my bag of apples.
And mine.
Bullshit!
I want a name. I want addresses.
What is the scoop? Don't hold out on us. We're on to you. He's shaking him down like he's Elliot Ness in The Untouchables. Oh hell. This was Cannon's way to put in a virtual waiting room before we cut to the next scene. You got to admit, the highlight of this Cannon's Community Mafia Theater production of Analyze This was when the bodies were revealed to Cafano, of Gino, the girl, all entangled by his dick. I'm guessing they're going to need the jackhammer of life to snip off his twig, because I guess his penis swelled inside a mid-climax just a mere seconds before his death. Does rigor mortis affect erections, or is it seriously fused in there for good? That's a little more upsetting than the black mold situation. Then we cut to the police station featuring Pretty Fly for a tracksuit looking karate guy. We are told that he is a cop, but is not actually a cop. More like a trained consultant trained to teach the cops. But yet the lead detectives go for him because he knows enough to be dangerous.
That's Dave Hatcher, the guy I told you about. He's the instructor.
I understand you want to get involved.
What's up?
Come here, I want to talk to you.
Since when is he a policeman? Where does his generic identity, deep blue sweater with white bold lettering that says police? Did he get that at the costume store so he can play tough cop? Now they need backup. We need some help, Cannon, from one of your characters, but your lieutenant refuses to do any actual grunt work.
Take a look. This is what's left of Cafano's brother. His right leg. Spun the body and the damn thing's been cracked like a toothpick. His chest. Sternum has been shattered in 9 different places. The clavicle's been cracked in 2. My question to you, is it possible for a man to do this to another man?
Pretty Fly for a tracksuit looking karate guy says yeah, a ninja could do that. Glad they appreciate Office Roundhouse's expertise. Good lord, any licensed medical professional, being a doctor, nurse practitioner, or PA, could have diagnosed that break being a cause of some highly engaged violent activity. I never knew being attacked by ninjas suddenly made it into the clinical guide to sports injuries.
No, it requires a very special training from childhood.
What's next? A high-profile court case comes up and the judge calls up the ninja witness to take the stand? What if the defendant objects in saying, no, my client is no samurai, so it doesn't work that way? So Karate Flyboy and Sho have a friendly sparring match. If this was thrown in any way for a pretty fly for the tracksuit looking karate guy, you are so vain because Sho showed him up. Wow, is Karate Boy sure a sore loser? Definitely not trained in the ways of Miyagi-Do. Definitely reeks of Cobra Kai, don't you think?
Hey!
Karate Boy wants to bring in Sho in on the investigation, so Sho follows him to the lieutenant's office. You got to love the lieutenant's response as he is basically saying, I'm into simple Simon crime fighting. You're a little karate. What do I know?
The ninja's much more powerful. They were warriors of ancient times, masters of assassination in medieval Japan.
Are you trying to tell me there's ninjas running around there killing people in the 20th century? Come on.
The lieutenant claims that the murder weapon looks like some fucking toy pulled out of a grocery store toy machine.
The hell do you call this damn thing?
It's called a star shuriken. Ninja weapon.
Ninja, is that one of those martial arts things?
Sho gives a further explanation that the blade of throwing star thrown at the right length could have killed the guy due to the precision of the star going directly into his eye.
Oh, shit.
It's really very simple.
Note to self, oh wise one, you can still take a sharp object not in the eye and still die.
It's really very simple.
The lieutenant then laughs it off, saying, "You Asians and your culture. Ah, you truly are a living embodiment of typical smug-ass police stereotyping in cinema, and because of that, Sho walks out of the investigation and wants nothing more of this potential racial profiling to pursue any longer than this scene has to."
I'm sorry.
We then cut to Braden, who is with Kathy, and it looks like they're about to have their moment, but she's just not feeling it today.
Don't, please.
He probably couldn't close the deal with his short sword. Anyway, Gafano calls and wants to know if we are still doing this drug deal or not. What doesn't make sense here is that he tells Braden one thing in that he will meet him at the art gallery, but then turns his men and says another.
Come on, let's meet.
Have you got the money, Cafano?
Of course I got the money. You bring the stuff to my office, and I'll pay you COD.
Cash in advance.
Including one of his men is none other than the cross between a WWE wrestler Chief Jay Strongbow or Takana, or is this the tag team combination of Chief Reigns and Braun? Or is this a team of power and glory? Nah, I'm leaning more towards Nightwolf of Mortal Kombat. Thank you, Canon, with this plainly obvious, stereotypical Native American garb, with the man's hair braided in the ponytails along with the leather vest. It cracks me up that every henchman or character presented is borrowed from WWF's gimmick book. It's a little tad too much canon, even by own classical cinema tastes. Of course, keeping up with Canon's commitment to racism, Gafano orders his Indian.
If anybody gets in your way, scout.
Glad to see you are building up the longest discrimination case ever. Upon close observation, it's clearly that this man is not Native American, but portrayed by a Caucasian character. Tisk, 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 Canon. What's your excuse this time? No, don't tell me, Canon. Let me guess. He did an ancestry thing and found out that he's 1/64th of part Cherokee. So I'm guessing that heist is his way to work his way up to earning that casino money in a coup to wrestle back ownership of the casino from his tribe. So yeah, Chief Stealing Bull and his accomplices are stealing the dolls, putting them in bags, and hauling them in the back of a van. I'm not sure what kind of logic you laced this drug deal together without the actual drug dealer present giving his consent. Because dude, you have all of us tripping here. Sho spots the thieves and moves in for what turns out to be a very thrilling fight and car scene wrapped in a nice burrito. That this scene has got some bite to it. Then Chief Jay Strongbow comes with a box in his hand, and like something out of a WWE match, title match, he just breaks it over Sho to win the hardcore title. Then our big badass brute takes out a blade and attempts to use the dull side of the blade against his neck. Sir, it's facing the wrong way. I'm guessing in his wrestling logic, you want to scare him, not kill him. Sho then later has to make a mad dash after the fan by flipping over walls on his own accord. The film editor has to be having a field day here as he is constantly cutting from one wall jump to another. Hey, look! Move it! Gee! One jump looked like it was 20 feet in the air, like he was executing a pommel horse at the Olympic Games. Sho immediately finds his way to the back of the van. And I have to point out that not only is this one of the canon's gutsiest action scenes, but also one of the scariest. He's basically doing his own version as the urban surfer in Michael J. Fox's Teen Wolf. It is an incredibly long sequence that basically has Sho suffering his first defeat. He has some incredible stunt action by flipping over the front of a van and kicking through the windshield, beats up some guys, kicks one of the guys out of the moving van. He is literally hanging on to a broken van door and dragged on the pavement. A car is seen sideswiping the van and clearly is seen running over the dummy that is supposed to be Sho, which should have left him for dead. Wow, does he take a nasty spill? Because that had to hurt. Sho just takes a hard one on the pavement as you watch him make a rough tumble on the pavement. This is the point in the program when you're in for season-long ass kicking, when even the comic relief characters seen driving away owns you. We then cut to the dojo as Grandma is meditating in the room and Secret Ninja Man shows up with her in the dojo and him still scouting what's left on his drug inventory in the showroom. Seriously, in the good faith and accuracy of crime movies, canon again, and I thank God this will be the last time I am reiterating this. How do you expect to have any credibility as a drug dealer when you are killing your clients and taking all the money? I could care less, but I'm just awaiting the next scheduled ass kicking. I can see Grandma borrowing a book from Kill Bill, going for that chain ball showing some of the secret ninja skills. So yeah, Secret Ninja Grandma showing off her fancy footwork in a sorority of Circus Soleil, smooth acrobatic motion. Secret Ninja Man then breaks up the dance by breaking her heart with a knife to her chest. She throws it back at him. He catches it, but eludes him by disappearing after she drops the old smoke bomb. If only you had any time for an eye exam, because it seems your eyes deceived you from picking the diffuse and the distract bomb from the dip, duck, and dodge danger bomb. Kane later arrives with his Dodger hat. How prophetic it would be for 5 years later, because they are crowned world champions. If they can run it all the way home, maybe Kane can. Yeah, poor choice of hiding place. Also, what is your most noticeably curvy body doing against the wall? I would think your shadow would be quite prominent. Black Star Ninja reveals his face as Braden, as they both stare at each other. A chase ensues between Braden and Kane. Kane then pulls a knife out and begins to cut the rope off as if this was Ninja Home Alone. That's right, come on, come get me, you big horses of Ninja's ass. I don't know if I would call this a chase scene, but Braden attempts to have a chase scene but cannot catch Kane. Hey, when it comes to speed control, some are more creative than others. Kane then goes under some air conditioner to cool off. Sho then arrives after the scene, and since Uber was not invented, he had to walk his defeated ass the whole way back to the art gallery. He's all bloody and everything, and he's all cut up in assless chaps, and everyone is probably looking at him as if he was walking to the beat of the song, "You Had a Bad Day." Sho sees the carnage unfolding before him and holds his candy necklace and tries to wiping it away the tears as the cops later come. Sensory overload. Its effects can be devastating. How come we went from Evil Ninja headquarters to some San Fernando Valley porn flophouse? If that is the case, then Kathy, you might want to go with a more appropriate height, weight proportionate screen partner. Honestly, Professor Tanaka here is going to make pound cake out of that pussy. Thank God Evil Ninja comes to put a gag order on this. What even more is cool is that for the first time he actually hypnotizes Kathy wearing his chrome face, speaking in chrome.
Kathy, the dolls are gone. Someone stole them from the gallows, double-crossed.
We so dig the Darth Vader voice modulator canon.
Kathy, count with me. 5, 4.
More like Deathstroke from G.I. Joe. Kathy then does the Cobra Commander's bidding as she seeks out Kane. We cut back to the pretty fly for a karate tracksuit wearing guy, and he comes up with a plot in his folder that contains who may have information on the stolen dolls.
I thought you might like to check them out with me.
So to get there, they literally have to go to the place where most amazing things for grown-ups who are never told to go back to those good old playing days at, the playground. This introduces us to quite possibly the greatest scene in movie history. Guess whose ex-cons have this stolen information worth a lot to show? The Village People, literally in their YMCA album cover pose. This is probably why most children are homeschooled. Great to know that due to catch and release laws, criminals are allowed to socialize with your children when they should be cruising down Van Nuys Boulevard, recruiting for the YMCA. Oh well, it's a democratic city. It's okay, they probably see them as one of those local gay gangs, completely harmless.
I own that new Japanese doll gallery downtown.
Then again, Utah is very progressive due to the Mormons. So, Sho and Karate Flyboy failed to get information and they are about to have a little recess time.
Come on.
Yet, our harmless cowboy never gets in one single offensive maneuver, practically gets his ass handed to him, but walks away with a complimentary mustache trim. He does muster up some courage to grab a weapon, and suddenly he wants to be a macho man. I guess you can only push a man so far. All the families and children are inches away from this carnage, but yet are tuning in as if it's a Street Fighter Level 2 on Sega Genesis. vacate the scene. The people are joyous, they are throwing in the dollars. Murdered no one, no arrests, just a typical up Schitt's Creek path kind of day in Utah land. We then cut to Show's karate dojo as Kathy is there. Yep, working it out in her Ryu cosplay outfit. Are you still finding this rather awkward and unnerving? Seeing a 7-year-old fighting a grown, shanky older woman who wants to groom this poor child?
Just like your father. Aren't you? You should be afraid.
What's the first thing our boy Kane does? Gives a little incoming boot right split in the crotch.
I have to take you, and you can't stop.
Hello, kitty. He's literally handing her her ass, and when she fights back with a kick to his face on its own. It looks like nothing like a stage fight, but an actual woman versus a child brawl. Sorry, Kenan, not much of a legit fight. Especially if Show taught Kane pretty much all he knows, and then some like learning to take a kick to the face. I mean, look at him, Kane. He's bouncing off around cartwheels. It's like watching Master Yoda fight back in the days of our favorite final boss scenes from Double Dragon and Final Fight. This young boy really harnesses the strength of those really hard to fight bosses, who's constantly doing backstands and sneaking up to put the drop on you from behind, and annoying the hell out of you because you're down to your last few quarters at the arcade. It's all advantage Kane, as he pretty much has bested her and is about to drive it home into her throat. However, there's still good in him, as he was told not to kill families. However, someone forgot to tell not to turn his back. I'm guessing he was thinking it's time for a little chocolate milk and some comics. Yet Kathy just lets Kane just slowly walk away, and he slowly picks her up and wins by parental default. Sure, always take the mommy way out. We then go to Braden's office, and Kathy has returned along with Kane. Braden then sends them off to shirtless man who takes them away. Kathy is surprised Braden plans to hurt Kane and slaps her.
I trouble Kane. Take him and hold him till I get back.
Tommy, we're gonna hurt him!
Seriously, even if a Geek Squad help desk thought this question was stupid, it would set your ass on fire. Braden is only getting warmed up as he makes the call to Cafano.
You don't keep appointments, Cafano.
Fred, you crazy bastard, you think you're pretty clever, huh? Well, I'm one step ahead of you.
I'm coming to get you, Cafano. Just stay right where you are.
That's when the worst is yet to come, as he turns into his 1966 Batman villainous self. We go back to the gay compound. Cafano tells his men to goon up as we get a bloodthirsty ninja coming. This is when we bring their logic into question, as they all plan to go ninja watching as they all gather outside the office building in the middle of downtown Utah, armed like a paramilitary group with AKs and assault weapons. However, if you goons just focus on the problem, you miss the easiest solution. Look up, fuckers. Hey, don't worry about it. Tell us if you see a ninja coming. Hope you nail the poor bastard. Kathy then makes one last ditch effort for her to save a face by calling Show and alerting him that Braden pretty much had your prick in his back pocket and was using you in your warehouse space as a front to import heroin and Oriental dolls.
Where's Braden?
What have you got to smile at, Show? You read into one of the dumbest criminal enterprises scams of all time. What were you going for here, Cannon? That the FBI and DEA get involved? They second guess the whole thing because it involves art? Then it gets passed around to so many agencies that no one can prosecute or get overturned by the Supreme Court. Yeah, So for an average customer, if you buy the doll, you're not buying the heroin. But buying the doll, you can be arrested for purchasing heroin. Weird concept canon that makes no sense, but give yourself a dunce cap and part on the back for being the first one to do it though.
Yes, I'm afraid I do.
Once Show knows that Braden was behind the whole operation pretty fly for a karate cop guy, feels a call to action to out ninja the other ninja. I'm sure in Show's thinking you're an American. You can't be a ninja. True, American Ninja hasn't come out yet. You know, he did say he lived in Japan for 20 years, and we entered this movie review saying that this was a loosely linked sequel. Do you think maybe this could be a prequel? Maybe this is why Show is done with the white guys trying to pass off as ninjas. When you think about it, Enter the Ninja would actually be the second sequel where he returns out only to find his same school let another white guy to besmirk his martial arts. Now, if the only ending of the Revenge of the Ninja had Show returning back so that this teacher can introduce him to Franco Nero, I would so accept and embrace this newfound storyline with open arms. Well then, what about the third one then? Who knows, its plot holes stick out in many different directions like a Rubik's Cube of dumb fuckery that we'll get there rather shortly. Then we come back to one of the strangest S&M torture scenes ever seen in a movie. I give Cannon an A for creativity in the Batman 1966 torture depth through because they never did a waterboarding scene. I don't know how that is supposed to come off as torturous. Personally, many would find that to be quite comfortable, erotic, and sexy. So, what do we call this? Bob Bob Benny and the Jets. Oh, Cannon. Death by dehydration. Now we are introduced to one of the most glaring but obvious plot holes because Show is going in one direction to find Braden with no set destination, and Braden went in another to confront and kill Cafano. So how could they end up in the same place? Never take story advice from Cannon, kids. You'll end up drunk. The next scene we have Braden breaking into Cafano's office building through the window on the top of the 30th floor. I'm guessing they don't pay guards to make use of their necks in being wise to their neighboring surroundings. Show later shows up at the building, but that still doesn't answer the question as to how he found out where Braden is heading to. Was there a 30-minute scene cut out from accusing Kathy and Kane? The way Braden storms into Cafano's place is another Batman villain thing, as he utilizes his giant bow that sends out a grappling hook across. Since Cafano's men wanted Cafano to pay them extra for pretending to be a bunch of wise asses, they refused to look around for it wasn't part of the renegotiated union deal. Braden then makes his way into Cafano's office lair, and after Cafano's goons fall prey to Hyde and be slain by Braden.
What?
Danny, check the noise in the hallway. Get behind the gun!
Enters with Cafano, now unguarded and unprotected. This scene is short and brief as he throws a ninja star at Cafano's hands. Yeah, that's his death. We don't question it. We assumed he will never live to complain, conquer, and kill again. No, it's more like, got your hand. If you get me again, and I'll take the other one and turn it into a little prick of a hook. Karate Fly Boy shows up and is immediately put down by Braden. Every time we say life can't get even more fucked up, Cannon replies with, challenge accepted.
Hey man, you're late. Well, I got a piece of them. Not bad first time out.
Then after waiting an hour we are presented with 20 minutes of awesomeness. Take a moment here and breathe in the build-up. If this were tennis, I would say advantage fucking ninjas. serve. It's the perfect blend of fighting as it is trying to tell another story onto the main story with backstory. Not only that, it presents quite an obscure and challenging set for a final duel because you have two ninjas attempting to hide and attempt to put on an element of surprise on another when there really wasn't anything for them to hide from. However, the crash test ninja dummies sap the excitement from it. It doesn't make sense in one scene Sho turns around where a robotic hand reaches out and grabs Sho's leg. Is this the bullshit Sho was trained for? Sho is confused and even I am confused. How did we have time to properly construct that? Let's have a fight already. Our fight concludes with Sho stabbing Braden in the chest, very Addams Family-like.
I must strike you dead, I will. Oh, proud death! What feast is torn in thine eternal cells?
It's an awesome ending in a comical spray of blood. It's so insane, but we love it. Kane and Kathy come to reunite with Sho at the end, and may I say, Kane is certainly having a coming-of-age moment today. Kathy then wants a hug from Sho, but those two look at her thinking, "Excuse me, who are you?" It's a day he will look upon quite fondly. Quite the informative experience. Kathy then wants a hug from Sho, but those two look at her thinking, "Excuse me, who are you?" as we hit to the credits. You know you have watched a canon film when the credits roll. Lights fade up and you feel relived, knowing bad guy's dead, so it's get the fuck out of here. For all its goofy psychobabble featuring Kitty and various scenes of bad guy justice, Revenge of the Ninja always stands out as one of the most belatedly martial arts movies as part of the ninja canon fistful of fun. It's not every day you come across a film such as Revenge of the Ninja that can pack as many bite-sized action scenes in one full-length feature. It seems there are so many that canon writers forgot that adding a part is an essential part of their to-do list as screenwriters. More importantly, canon was onto something that hadn't been felt since the years of Bruce Lee's passing. Canon had a star, a legitimate Asian star that quite frankly became the first Asian star to get top billing in a major Hollywood feature that not had been done on American soil. It also launched the career of Canon's reliable action go-to extraordinary director Sam Firstenberg. The first box office returns alone set this movie as the new action standard for the company, bringing in $13 million on a measly $1 million film budget. However, folks, good things come to those that drill it into the ground when you tune in next time to the conclusion of the Sho Kosugi Ninja trilogy with Ninja 3: The Domination. Will it be a continuation, A Star is Born in Sho Kosugi, or will he go crash and burn to the failure to launch? Until then, our viewing classes / dojo for today has been dismissed, and this is your host, Jason Songer Sr., reminding you as always, stay healthy, my friends.
Canon Films presents an outstanding lineup of films, major filmmakers, major stars, major motion pictures.